Listen to me, you're waking up every day like it's just another day. Like you just deserve to breathe. Like you deserve to walk, to talk, to eat. No, that breath in your lungs, that's a gift. That's grace. You've got to stop moving through life on autopilot. You mad you didn't get the car, the job, the relationship. You're walking past miracles every single day and don't even recognize them. Gratitude is the fuel. The problem ain't that you don't have enough. The problem is you don't appreciate what you already have. You looking at other people's blessings while ignoring your own. When you are grateful, you wake up with energy, with purpose, with fire. Some of you are waiting for motivation, waiting for a sign. Gratitude is the sign. When you stop complaining and start praising, everything changes. Listen to me. I'm talking to that person who feels stuck, who feels like life is just throwing the same thing at them every day, like there's no change, there's no breakthrough. You wake up and feel like you're going nowhere. You look around and you're frustrated. You see what they have, what they're doing, the door's opening for them. And you're wondering why it ain't happening for you. But let me tell you something. It's not that you don't have enough. It's not that God ain't blessing you. It's that your mindset, your attitude, you're blocking your blessing. You ain't seeing right. You look at everything from a place of lack, not abundance. And that's why you're stuck. Gratitude, man. Gratitude is the ship. Gratitude is the key. Gratitude is the tool that transforms your whole outlook. It doesn't change your situation. It changes you. And when you change, how you experience your situation changes too. See, the problem is not that your life is too hard. The problem is you've been too blind to see the good in it. That job you hate. Somebody's praying for it. That apartment you can't stand. Somebody's sleeping outside. Somebody's sleeping outside in the cold. That body you keep complaining about. Somebody would trade with you in a second just to get out of a hospital bed. It ain't about what you got. It's about how you see what you got. I remember when I was homeless. I remember sleeping in abandoned buildings. I remember not eating for days. I had every reason to be bitter, every reason to be mad at the world. But something clicked. One day I said to myself, yeah, you breathing. You alive. You got another shot. And I held on to that. I made that my fuel. I was grateful just to have a chance. And that changed how I moved. I didn't walk around like a victim anymore. I walked like a man who knew he was blessed to even be alive. And that's what made the difference. I didn't wait for something big to happen to start appreciating life. I got grateful for the small thing. And the big thing started showing up. You waiting for your situation to change before you feel grateful. But that's backward. The moment you start showing gratitude in this moment, that's when your situation begins to shift. Because you attract what you focus on. You walk around angry, bitter, complaining. You're going to keep getting more reasons to be bitter. But you start your day with gratitude. Before your feet even touch the ground, you say, thank you, even when life is tough. Now you're operating on a whole different frequency. Gratitude is magnetic. It pulls in peace. It pulls in clarity. It pulls in strength. And when you operate from that place, you start making different decisions. You stop reacting and you start responding. You stop complaining and you start working. You stop doubting and you stop doubting and you start believing. I need you to understand, this ain't no cute motivational quote. This is real. This is spiritual. This is mental warfare. You've got to fight to stay grateful in a world that's constantly telling you what you're missing. Instagram got you thinking your life ain't enough. The news got you thinking the world is falling apart. People around you got negative energy, but you got to choose gratitude like it's a weapon. You got to wake up and say, I'm thankful I woke up today. I'm thankful I got breath in my lungs. I'm thankful for this opportunity to hustle, to grind, to build, to love, to learn. And when you do that, your mind gets strong. Your heart gets right. And suddenly, watch this, even if your circumstances stay the same, your experience of them changes completely. You ever meet people who have less than you, but they smile more? People who've been through hell and back, but got more joy in their eyes than folks who never missed a meal. You know why? Because they train their minds to look for the good. They condition themselves to see the blessing in the middle of the storm. That's not natural. That's intentional. You've got to practice gratitude. It don't come easy. You got to work for it. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. Gratitude is like lifting mental weights. At first, it's hard. You don't feel it. It feels fake. But over time, you get stronger. You get clearer. You start seeing things differently. Gratitude don't mean you settle. Gratitude don't mean you don't hustle. It means you hustle with joy. It means you grind with a heart full of thanks, not bitterness. You can still want more, but you appreciate what you have while you're working for what's next. That's the mindset of a winner. That's how you go from average to great. That's how you tap into your next level. Well, not by begging for more, but by honoring what's already in your hand. So if you want to shift your life, start by shifting your focus. Get your eyes off what's missing and put your heart into what's present. Stop waiting for the big break to be grateful. Use your gratitude to create the big. Use your gratitude to create the big break. You keep waiting for motivation like it's supposed to just fall out the sky. Like you're going to wake up one day, stretch, yawn, and boom, you're suddenly inspired to chase your dreams. Hit the gym, fix your marriage, study for your exam, build your business. But let me tell you the truth. Motivation don't show up for people who sit around waiting. It shows up for people who get up with gratitude. The people who are thankful, they move different. You don't need some big magical spark. You need to get spirit aligned, your heart on fire. And that happens when you stop looking at what you don't have and start appreciating everything you do. See, I need you to understand something. Gratitude is not soft. It's not weak. It's not passive. It's powerful. It's energy. It's momentum. When you're grateful, you don't sit still. You don't procrastinate. You don't need to be begged to take action because you already understand that what you've been given is a gift and you ain't about to waste it. Let me break it down. Some of y'all wake up every morning dragging your feet, hitting snooze 5 times. You hate your job. You're tired of school. You can't stand your situation, but guess what? That attitude ain't getting you nowhere. You think you need more motivation, but what you really need is perspective. You need to shift your eyes. You need to see it different. Because when you wake up and say, I'm grateful I got another shot today, everything starts moving. That's when the fire comes. You think motivation is about hype? Nah, motivation is about recognizing what's at stake. Motivation is about being so grateful for what you got. You can't sit still. You gotta move. You gotta do something. You ever see somebody who's been through the fire, been through the pain, and they're still pushing forward? You know why? Because they appreciate the opportunity. They ain't focused on what they lost. They're focused on what they still got. And that's what drives them. When I was homeless, I didn't have nothing. No bed, no money, no direction. I could have laid down and gave up. But I said, you know what? I got life. I got breath. I got a dream. I'm grateful for that. That's enough for me to fight. And I fought. I clawed. I grinded. Not because everything was perfect, but because I was thankful for anything. Gratitude woke me up in the morning. Gratitude made me stay up at night. Gratitude put me in the library when everybody else was partying. Gratitude made me hit the pavement when I had nothing but a dream in my heart. You sitting there waiting for the universe to give you a sign, waiting for some video to hype you up, but you missed the sign. The sign is the fact that you woke up. That's it. That's all you need. That's your sign. That's your fuel. That's your reason to get up and go hard. Because you don't know if you'll get tomorrow. That's real talk. You don't know if you'll get another shot. So how you gonna waste this one? Gratitude is what puts your feet on the floor when the alarm goes off. Gratitude is what makes you lace up your shoes when your body's tired. Gratitude is what gets you studying when your friends are relaxing. When you're grateful, you stop waiting and you start working. When you're grateful, you don't need a pull. You don't need a push. You've already been pulled by the gift of another day. And let me tell you something else. Grateful people don't make excuses. They find reasons. They say, yeah, I'm tired, but I'm alive. Yeah, this job ain't perfect, but it's feeding my kids. Yeah, I'm in pain, but I still got purpose. They use gratitude to frame the whole story. And once the story changes in your head, the energy changes in your life. Because everything starts with your mindset. You fuel the fire with your thoughts. And gratitude is high-octane gas. It's not just about saying thank you. It's about living thank you. When you're truly grateful, it shows in your hustle. It shows in your focus. It shows in the way you treat people. You stop being lazy with your talent. You stop wasting time. You stop putting off your potential. because you realize this thing called life is not guaranteed. So every moment is precious. Every opportunity is priceless. And you work like you know that. You waiting on motivation, but the truth is, motivation is waiting on you. It's sitting there like the minute you start appreciating what you already got, I'm coming in hot. I'm showing up. I'm putting you in beast mode. But until you flip that switch, until you stop whining and start thanking, you're going to keep wondering why you feel stuck. I see it all the time. Two people in the same situation. One's miserable, one's driven. What's the difference? Gratitude. One sees the hardship, the other sees the opportunity. And the one who's grateful, they run with it. They maximize it. They squeeze the juice out of every moment. And that's the one who wins. That's the one who keeps going when everybody else quit. You think the pain you went through was a waste? You think that heartbreak, that loss, that failure, that dark season had no value? Let me tell you something, that pain was not a punishment. It was preparation. But it's only when you stop running from it, only when you stop being angry about it, and you start being grateful for what it gave you. When it becomes your power, that's when it becomes your purpose. That's when it stops being something that happened to you and starts being something that happened for you. That's the shift. And gratitude is what makes that shift possible. I know what it's like to hurt. I know what it's like to feel abandoned. I know what it's like to be in a room full of people and still feel alone. I know what it's like to go to sleep hungry, to sleep in an abandoned building, to feel forgotten. But I also know what it's like to wake up one day and say, I'm not going to let this break me. I'm going to let it build me. I'm not going to stay in this pit. I'm going to climb. And I didn't climb out of that pain with money or connections or some fancy opportunity. I climbed out with gratitude. Gratitude that I was still alive. Gratitude that I still had fight left in me. Gratitude that the story wasn't over yet. Some of you still mad about the breakup. Still bitter about the job that let you go. Still angry about the people who did you wrong. But here's the truth. You can't grow if you stay mad. You can't move forward if you keep dragging your pain behind you like a weight. You've got to learn how to flip the pain. You got to extract the lesson, pull out the gift. And you do that by getting grateful. You do that by saying, yeah, it hurt. Yeah, it was unfair. But look what it taught me. Look who I became because of it. Look how much stronger I am now. That's gratitude, and that's how you turn pain into purpose. Everybody wants purpose. Everybody wants passion. Everybody wants past. Nobody wants the pain, but the pain is where purpose is born. You don't find your calling on the mountaintop. You find it in the valley. You find it in the tears, in the struggle, in the nights when you didn't know how you were going to make it. And when you come out on the other side, when you survive, you don't just come out with a story. You come out with a mission. You come out with fire. You come out saying, if I made it through that, I'm going to make sure somebody else does too. That's purpose. But that only happens when you stop resenting the pain and start respecting it. Stop wishing it never happened and start being grateful that it did. See, gratitude don't mean you like the pain. It don't mean you wanted it. It just means you understand it had value. It means you trust that it made you better. And that trust, that perspective is what frees you. That's what transforms your pain into fuel. Some of the most powerful people you'll ever meet didn't get that way because life was easy. They got that way because life broke them. But they decided to get back up. And when they got up, they didn't leave the pain behind. They used it. They used it to speak life into others. They used it to build, to lead, to love deeper. They didn't let their pain make them bitter. They let it make them better. And that starts with gratitude. Gratitude takes the focus off of what hurt you and puts it on what helped you. It shifts your energy from a why me to a try me. It helps you see that everything you went through was not a coincidence. It was a setup for something greater. But only if you choose to see it that way. Only if you decide right now to stop complaining about it and start thanking it. You're not a victim. You're a survivor. You're not broken. You're being rebuilt. And every piece of pain you went through is a brick in the foundation of your greatness. But you have to own it. You have to claim it. You have to stop running from your past and start redeeming it. And gratitude is the tool that does that. Gratitude is what lets you look back and say, it didn't destroy me. It developed me. You ever talk to someone who's gone through something traumatic and they still walk with power. You ever meet somebody who buried a loved one, lost everything, faced illness, and they still in this, and they still light up a room? That's not luck. That's not personality, that's perspective. That's a person who turned their pain into their platform. That's someone who chose to be grateful despite what they went through. Because of that, they're unshakable. Because once you learn how to turn pain into purpose, life can't knock you down the same way again. So if you're hurting right now, if you're in the middle of something you don't understand, don't waste it. Don't throw it away. Don't numb it. Feel it, then own it. Feel it, then own it. Then use it. The pain has a purpose, but only gratitude can unlock it. You've got to make that choice. You've got to say, I don't like what happened, but I thank God for what it made me. Life is hard. That's the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're going to take losses. You're going to face setbacks. People are going to leave you. Plans are going to fall apart. There are going to be days where you give your all and still ain't up. That's real. But the people who make it, the ones who rise, the ones who keep showing up, even when life keeps punching them in the mouth, they've got something powerful on the inside of them. They've got resilience. They got the ability to bend without breaking, to take the hit, keep swinging. And you know where that comes from? It comes from gratitude. Yeah, you heard me, gratitude. See, most people think resilience is about being tough. They think it's about muscles or bravado or faking like nothing hurts. That's not resilience, that's pride. Resilience isn't about pretending you're unbreakable. It's about knowing you've been broken, but choosing to keep moving anyway. Resilience is powered by perspective. It's fueled by a mindset that says, even though it's hard, I still have something to be thankful for. That's what keeps you grounded when the storm hits. That's what keeps you sane when everything is going wrong. You ever seen somebody go through something crazy, like losing a loved one, losing a job, facing illness, but somehow they don't fall apart? Somehow they still show up, still serve, still smile. You ever wonder how? It's not because they're built different. It's because they think different. They made a choice to focus on the light instead of the darkness. They made a choice to say, this situation is bad, but it's not all bad. I still have breath. I still have purpose. I still have a reason to fight. That's gratitude. That's resilience. When life knocks you down, it's easy to complain. It's easy to feel sorry for yourself. It's easy to point fingers and say, why me? But let me ask you, what's complaining ever built? What battle did you ever win by giving up? Complaining doesn't make you stronger. Bitterness doesn't give you power. You don't rise from rock bottom by crying about the dirt. You rise when you say, I might be in the dirt, but I'm still alive. I'm still capable. I'm still grateful. I'm still grateful. That's where your bounce back comes from. And let me tell you from experience, I've been knocked down, I've been homeless, I've been hungry, I've been hopeless. But even then I chose to be grateful. Grateful for another breath. Grateful for the grind. Grateful that I had one more day to get it right. And that mindset didn't make the pain disappear, but it gave me the strength to push through it. Gratitude doesn't erase the problem, but it fortifies you against it. It gives you something to stand on when everything around you is shaking. Some of you keep falling apart every time things down. Every day you wake up, there are 100 things fighting for your attention. Notifications, emails, opinions, pressure, comparison, it's nonstop. And if you're not careful, you'll get caught up in all of it. You'll start chasing things that don't even matter. You'll start living your life based on what other people are doing, what other people are posting, what other people think is success. That's how people lose themselves. That's how people end up exhausted, burned out, running after stuff they never even really wanted in the first place. But when you practice gratitude, when you live with a grateful spirit, it locks you back in on what truly matters. Gratitude is what brings your focus back home. It reminds you of what's real. See, when you're grateful, you stop looking at everybody else's lane and start appreciating your own. You stop counting other people's blessings and start counting your own. You stop scrolling through someone else's highlight reel and start recognizing how much you've already got to be thankful for. And when you do that, your mind clears up. Your path becomes clear. Your purpose comes clear. Your purpose comes into focus. You stop being pulled in every direction and start walking straight in your own. Some of you are overwhelmed right now, not because your life is out of control, but because your focus is out of control. You're trying to keep up with people you weren't even built to run with. You're chasing things that were never yours. But when you wake up with gratitude, you start the day grounded. You remind yourself, I've already got something valuable. I've already been blessed. I don't need to impress anybody. I don't need to prove anything. I just need to be faithful with what's in my hands. That mindset, that's freedom. That's clarity. That's power. You know what gratitude does? It keeps you from taking your eyes off the prize. Because the moment you start focusing on what you lack, what you don't have, what's missing, that's when you start getting frustrated. That's when you start making bad decisions. That's when you start quitting things you should have stuck with. But when you stay grateful, you see the opportunity in front of you. You see the progress you've made. You see the reason why you started in the first place. You stop getting sidetracked by nonsense. Let me tell you, there were days I didn't have a dime to my name. I didn't know where I was sleeping that night. And I could have sat around feeling sorry for myself, thinking about everything I didn't have. But instead, I locked in on what I did have. I had my health. I had my mind. I had a dream. I had a chance. I held on to that with everything I had. I wasn't focused on luxury. I was focused on legacy. I wasn't focused on comfort. I was focused on calling. And gratitude kept me focused on that. Gratitude doesn't mean you settle. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop growing. It just means that as you grow, you don't forget what matters. You don't lose yourself trying to gain the world. You don't climb the ladder just to find out it was leaning on a wall. When you're grateful, your heart stays in the right place. Your values stay intact. Your focus stays sharp. You stop chasing attention and start chasing impact. You stop worrying about how you look and start focusing on who you're becoming. The reason so many people feel lost is because they're busy trying to live someone else's life. But gratitude brings you back to yourself. It reminds you, you got your own journey. You got your own gifts. You've got your own blessings. Focus on that. And once you do, you start walking in peace. You start working with purpose. You stop looking for validation and start giving value. You stop measuring your worth by how many followers or likes you get and start measuring it by the lives you're touching, the growth you're achieving, and the consistency you're building. Let's be real. Life will always try to distract you. There will always be noise. There will always be pressure to be more, do more, have more. But gratitude is your anchor. Gratitude is your filter. Gratitude helps you say, that's not for me. That's not my lane. That's not my focus. And you don't need to apologize for that. You don't need to compete with anybody. You just need to stay faithful to what's been given to you. When you do that, your life starts moving with direction, with momentum, with meaning. You want to know the secret to being consistent, to staying disciplined? It's not just waking up early or grinding hard. It's waking up grateful. When you're grateful, you don't complain about the work. You appreciate the opportunity to do the work. You don't dread the grind, you embrace it. You're not distracted by what everybody else is doing because you're too focused on honoring what you've been given. And that's the key. That's how you stay locked in. That's how you keep your mind from drifting and your heart from chasing empty things.